The outpouring of support has continued across Australia for the victims of the attacks. In a show of solidarity in Sydney overnight, a silver fern was projected onto the sails of the Sydney Opera House. The New South Wales Premier called it a gesture of the state's unity and compassion towards everyone affected by the attacks. Hundreds also gathered in Melbourne last night for a candlelight vigil, with floral tributes and prayer mats left on the steps of the State Library. This afternoon, the Hockeyroos stood arm in arm with New Zealand players for a minute's silence before their match. In Queensland, Muslim leaders are calling for unity in the wake of the Christchurch tragedy. Thousands of people today attended a prayer service south of Brisbane to honour those lost.
Shoulder to shoulder, they came together to reflect. Thousands of mourners gathered at the Islamic College of Brisbane to reject hatred and embrace diversity.
We, as human beings, we have to support one another, love one another and try and work together.
We are united to stamp out all acts of terror.
Organisers were overwhelmed by the support. Inside, there was standing room only. Crowds were left outside to listen to a live stream of events. Flowers and tributes also swelled as more arrived. On the Gold Coast, the haka was performed as hundreds gathered to honour the lives lost. Despite the shock and pain, many in the Muslim community say they aren't surprised by the shooting massacre.
For a long period of time, a lot of Muslims have been feeling alienated and marginalised, and mainly because of the rhetoric from some within the political organisations.
I was expecting something to happen sooner or later, and just because of the narrative that's being spread about us in the media and by politicians.
But the community is being urged to reject any anger felt over the terror attack.
Hate cannot be defeated by hate. Intolerance cannot be defeated by intolerance. And violence cannot be defeated by violence.
Muslim leaders say the tragedy in Christchurch has united the wider Queensland community. Prayer services like this have been held across Queensland all weekend. United in grief and condemnation as many continue to come to terms with the attack. Rachel Rieger, ABC News, Brisbane.